power!
Well folks, 2018 is almost gone, and what better way to say goodbye to the year than with a look at my entire Amiibo collection. This is a video a lot of you have requested, and I've been wanting to put together now for some time, so without further ado, here is every Amiibo I've ever collected. Now for me, this is where everything started. I started collecting for this series the day that Super Smash Bros. Launched all the way back in 2014 on the Wii U. I absolutely love every single one of these, which is one of the reasons why it's front and center in my collection. At the moment, these two shelves actually house every single Amiibo that's come out so far in the Super Smash Bros. Line. That includes the Wii U and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But, as you can tell, when the new set of Amiibo come out in February, I'm going to have to upgrade because I have squeezed as much as I can squeeze onto these two things. Now, some of you asked me on Twitter when I posted this collection what I used for shelves. I essentially just went to Home Depot, I picked up some really cheap white wall shelves, and for the levels, all I really did was pick up some wood and had it cut down to size. More or less, this shelving ended up costing me less than $30 altogether. Not too bad if you're looking for a really cheap way to display your Amiibo. Alright, next up, let's look at my workspace. This is my desk. Of course, it's filled with Amiibo. On the left side of the desk, I have my Monster Hunter Stories Amiibo. Sadly, these Amiibo never came out in the US. It's one of the reasons why I love displaying these. They're unique, and a lot of people here in the States just don't have them. Alright, moving on down the desk, we have the Kirby series Amiibo, and one Amiibo that's not part of that series, but really doesn't fit many other places. QB, you can see, is front and center here. I love this Amiibo, it's simplistic, and again, this is a Japanese exclusive Amiibo, one of the hardest Amiibo to find. Now, one of the reasons why I love this series as a whole are really the colorful bases they come with. They're a bright blue base and they have golden stars right there on the front as well. It's really a gorgeous collection, and it's one of the reasons why it's front and center right here on my desk. I can see it pretty much every single day I'm working, and it kind of fills my heart with a little bit of joy. Now, moving even further down the desk, we have the miscellaneous third-party Amiibo. We have Shovel Knight, the Dark Souls Amiibo, we have the Loot Goblin, the Gold Mega Man Amiibo, and the Mega Man 11 Amiibo. For the most part, these really don't fit into any other collection, so I kind of like putting them right here. I think they all look great, and I love the idea of third-party Amiibo. And finally, we have the Yarn Yoshi Amiibo. We have all three of the Yoshi mini ones. We have the blue, the green, and the pink. We have the Mega Yarn Yoshi right there in the back. And of course, we have Poochie, one of my favorite Yarn Amiibo of all four of these. This was really Nintendo's first kind of soiree into something different from the standard Amiibo figures, and I'd love to see Nintendo do even more stuff with this even further down the line. Alright, next up we have the arcade cabinets. In my office, I essentially have a Donkey Kong arcade cabinet and an original Mario Bros. Arcade cabinet as well. These are my favorite pieces in this entire office, and right on top, we have, you guessed it, even more Amiibo. Now, on the Donkey Kong cabinet, we have all of the Super Mario Bros. Amiibo that have come out so far. Overall, I really like this collection. It's one of the more cartoony looking collections, and in my opinion, I think they look absolutely amazing. Now, if we move over to the next arcade cabinet, we have the Legend of Zelda series. Now, if you know anything about me, you know The Legend of Zelda is my favorite video game franchise ever, so I had to have a way to display every single one of these Amiibo. Now, right here on the front, I have a timeline of The Legend of Zelda, starting from oldest to newest. You can see I have the 8-bit Amiibo right there on front. We go into Ocarina of Time. I have some amazing custom Amiibos here as well, including this just outstanding Dark Link Amiibo made by TJ from Custom Conquest. This Amiibo is so good looking, honestly, some people have asked me if it was real. I wish it was. And the timeline goes on all the way to the most recent Breath of the Wild Amiibo. In the back, we have Zelda surrounded by her champions, we have the Guardian Amiibo, the Bokoblin Amiibo, Rider Link, Toon Zelda, and another custom Amiibo made by TJ for my Zelda collection. Here's hoping Nintendo makes even more amazing Zelda Amiibo coming up very soon. I really can't wait to see what's next. Alright folks, next up is my Pokemon Snap Station. Now, I could spend just hours talking to you about this station itself. It's really a piece of 90s history and I love it, but let's focus on what this video is about, and that's the Amiibo. Now, right in the back we have Detective Pikachu, and we have a huge selection of custom Amiibo by some absolutely amazing artists. We have a bunch of these made by Chris, who, if you don't know, is just an outstanding artist. We have this absolutely fierce-looking Shadow Mewtwo Amiibo made by AK Shop, and in the back we have one of my favorite customs ever, the Galaxy Pikachu by the talented Evolos Art. Now, off to the right of this, we have something that I'm also a big fan of, and honestly, this might be one of the reasons why I'm so into Amiibo. In case you don't know, these little guys are called Pokemon Rumble U figures. They were Nintendo's very first attempt at making NFC figures, and I love these things. They're incredibly tiny, they're incredibly rare, and I think this is again one of the main reasons why I'm collecting. These essentially came in blind bags when they first came out, and I really have a soft spot in my heart for these figures. Alright, it's finally time to move on to the crown jewel of my collection, and this is the Amiibo Display. Now this thing was essentially at Toys R Us stores, at GameStops, Targets. You probably saw one if you've ever collected Amiibo, and Nintendo just kind of phased them out. This one I picked up from a GameStop that was closing its doors. This is really one of the coolest pieces of Amiibo memorabilia so far. Now right here in the front you have the option of swapping out the Amiibo. On both sides of this, we have a custom Amiibo of myself and Happily Candied, once again made by the amazing TJ of Custom Conquest, and in the center, of course, we have the Wedding Amiibo, which I really like. Now this is one of these things I know a lot of Amiibo collectors just won't be able to get their hands on, as, well, there's a finite number of these things, but really I love that I was able to pick this thing up, and the LEDs that surround it just make this thing even more amazing. Alright, it's time to move on to the Amiibo Cards. Now, you might notice that we only have the Animal Crossing Amiibo cards here. I did start collecting for the Mario Sports series, but it really wasn't anything I was really crazy about. Now, the Animal Crossing ones come in 4 series, and I'm missing, I'd probably say, a really small handful of these. But for the most part, they are complete. And thanks to some really amazing functionality that came out in Animal Crossing on the Nintendo 3DS, these cards really do have a lot of value now. There is one additional set that never came out here in the US, and that is a Hello Kitty set of Amiibo cards too. Now these are incredibly difficult to find, and again, a really cool addition to anybody's Amiibo collection. Alright, speaking of Animal Crossing, let's move over to Happily Candied's side of the office and her amazing Animal Crossing shelf. Now right here on her shelf, she has every single one of the Animal Crossing Amiibo that have come out so far. And with Animal Crossing coming out on the Nintendo Switch very soon, I'm guessing we're going to see even more of these added to the collection in the coming year, so stay tuned for that. Now, finally, I want to move on to the Overstock and my boxed collection as well. Now, you might notice not every single one of the Amiibo are really on display, and that would be pretty much impossible. I have a finite amount of room in this office. So the Amiibo from the Splatoon series, the Skylander Amiibo, really some miscellaneous ones, they get thrown in the tub. Now I do rotate these things out pretty frequently so they don't just stay in here, but if you're a collector, you should know rotating your collection is a big part of the hobby. So don't worry, these are not going to stay in here indefinitely. I'll swap them out very soon. Now the last thing in the collection, I'm sure most of you know, I kind of started collecting Amiibo as an in-box collector, and all of these are out of the box. But I still actually have most of the Amiibo in the box, and that's what's in here. Now, I don't have any room really to display these, but here are kind of the miscellaneous Amiibo in here from all of the collections. And in this one, I happened to squeeze the entire Super Smash Bros. Amiibo line right here. So every Amiibo in that collection is in this box. I have no idea how I fit it in there, but there it is. So there you have it, the entire Amiibo collection. Again, I've been collecting these now for over 4 years, and I'm really happy with how everything turned out. So 2018 is pretty much gone. We have so many more Amiibo to look forward to in 2019, and I hope all of you come along for that journey. But until then, stay wired in. Bye guys.